Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. I've just got a video tonight talking about round 10 trade targets. So we've got 51 names to rattle off here. I put them in position order and my sentiment on them. It's not cut and dry. I've got a buy, fringe buy, risky, and notable no-goes. If they're in the notable no-goes, doesn't mean you have to avoid them. Just for me personally, I don't like them as an option due to a number of reasons, whether that be I just don't think there's much potential to make 150k, 10 plus points, or going to be a long-term keeper, or they have origin stuff, or I think they'll lose money. So yeah, we'll go over each one and talk about them individually. I've got a mic, so hopefully this sounds a bit better. Just let me know if there's any issues. Yeah, so I'll jump in through them one by one. Spoiler alert, a lot of them are going to be based on like round 12, round 15 buy cover. So yeah, I've got my little list here. I went through my buy planning list yesterday, I believe. So yeah, round 12 and round 15 are what we're looking at mainly. Knights don't have a buy until round, what round is that? Round 18. So they're a really good option. Doggies play all the major buy rounds. So yeah, really exciting for those guys, and they'll feature a lot on these on this sort of video. Probably this week, next week, the week after. It's just round 10, you've got to start preparing for the buys. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of the same names probably over the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I think everyone will be the same, in the same boat. So yeah, we'll start with our hookers. There was actually no hookers I have in my main buy section. They were a little bit short on stock this week. Obviously, Erin Clark and Ryley Smith were popular ones last week. I ended up picking up both. And I think a lot of people will be after a hooker now with Mamazelis out. He was good cover for round 15 and round 18, but his Gornskis now. We're still waiting to hear word on how long that will be. It's looking like 3 to 6 weeks, NRL Physio was reporting. But yeah, there's just no, like it is a positional need, but there's just not too many options this week that I love. But I'll get into them now. So we've got 3 fringe buys in Erin Clark, Ryley Smith, and Blayke Brailey. Erin Clark, he was massively debated last week, especially on this channel. Yeah, I thought the range of his outcomes was going to be super volatile, mainly based on his minutes. He was always going to average a point a minute. Obviously, playing 70 minutes last week, he didn't quite reach that mark, but you'll take the minutes over the PPM if he's playing 70 minutes. Obviously, we've got James Fisher-Harris back, but I think the fact he played a season high of 69 and they got destroyed when he came off, so they had to rush him back. I think that's really good. That bodes really well for the future. Obviously, you are buying him 3 points more expensive and yeah, about 42k more expensive. But I think the extra data is really helpful. So I think he's still an option as a fringe buy, which sounds weird to say, given last week I didn't even love him as an option and he was way cheaper. But yeah, I think the extra data, I think his minutes floor is increased when James Fisher-Harris is back based on what we saw last week. And yeah, he's just super important to them. So I think he'll have another couple of good weeks. James Fisher-Harris isn't back this week, so he'll probably play between that 65 to 70, maybe 60 minutes. And then it looks like 50 to 55 when James Fisher-Harris is back. But with Mamazelis out, I think there's more merit in Erin Clark, especially if you need a round 12 hooker. So yeah, no problems buying him, but don't be afraid if you miss the boat. Obviously, a lot of people bought him in. That ownership is super high in those top positions. But yeah, don't be too concerned if you haven't bought him in. Only bring him in if it makes sense to your team. Ryley Smith, he has less data, only played this season. Played 72 minutes last week, which is really strong. When I got him, I thought he'd play 65 minutes. He was priced at 27, I believe, last week. And yeah, if he was to play 65 minutes plus every week, then he'd easily average at least 35, which meant he was going to make 10k, be 10 points undervalued. I think his minutes are secure for now. Brendan Hands is in the reserves at like jersey number 22. I don't think he'll come in this week. Joey Lussick is due back, but I think Ryley Smith has earned that spot. He's a little bit riskier, almost priced at 30 now. I think it was actually 25 last week, so yeah, bit of an increase. Yeah, not too many issues if you want to bring him in again for round 12, but if you don't need a hooker for round 12, don't bother. He's not one you're going to regret missing. Most likely, like a 54 no one saw coming. I would have been happy with a 40. 57 tackles is phenomenal. I thought he'd average 40 plus from here on out playing 65 minutes, but I didn't expect 57 and I don't expect that to continue. His missed tackles are still concerning, doesn't attack much. So yeah, if you miss the boat, and you can't bring him in reasonably this week, don't stress. But I think he's a good option if you do need a hooker for round 12. Blayke Brailey, he's more of like your long-term keeper. And same with Erin Clark. I think Erin Clark could potentially be in the top 3 hookers by end of season now. You've got Harry Grant, Connor Watson, and they're probably the top 2. For Erin Clark probably fits in that top 3. Blayke Brailey, not so much, but he has really good cover in round 12 and 15, especially with Mamazelis out for 15 now. So yeah, don't expect him to average more than where he's priced at, 47, but if you do desperately need round 12, round 15 cover, he'll be just fine. Last season he averaged 45, a few games less than 70 minutes, so he's obviously an 80-minute player, so yeah, 46. Year before, 46. So he's super consistent, 48. Yeah, he'll average around 47 to 50. So that's where he's priced at. Yeah, just don't expect the world, but he's good cover. So if you need a hooker, feel free. He's a nice pod for you. Not that that really matters too much, but yeah, he's probably a tier below the other 2 because the other 2 do have a bit more merit in the fact they cover round 12 and have money-making potential-ish. And Erin Clark's a long-term keeper. Blayke Brailey's a fringe and a season keeper. So he's good buy cover, but I prefer the other 2 if you have to. Reid Marnie, where have I put him in the risky list? Yeah. His minutes have been a bit up and down. I did go through it to see what this 55 and 44 minutes look like. I didn't watch the film because I'm not that crazy, but in the 55 minutes, Matt Burton came on for I think it was either one. I think the 44-minute game, Matt Burton came back on after clearing his HIA, which meant Marnie came off. And obviously that's not a straight swap, but I think Kurt Mann went into hooker. So I don't know if he would have played 80, but he probably would have played more minutes if they didn't need that positional switch. And the scoreline was a blowout as well. So there was no need to bring him back on. So I don't think he'll play 44 again. 55, they won like 32-0 or something as well. So another blowout. That one seemed like more of a straight swap. There was no HIA or anything that messed with the rotation at all. But yeah, if he plays 80, which you'd think he would, he played 80 last week again, then he's really solid. Last season he averaged 50.6 in that, and he's only priced at 40. Season before, 47, 46, 66, but don't expect that. But yeah, there's heaps of data to support that he's well above the 40 price point and could even reach what Blayke Brailey's going to make. Where Blayke Brailey's priced at 47, and he plays round 12, round 15 and 18, and is cheaper. So yeah, you're risking it with the minutes. I haven't seen anyone talk about him, and I think he is risky. But yeah, I think there's heaps of merit to bring him in. I don't need a hooker, so I won't even be considering it. I only had the thought when I was going through the list of players today, but yeah, I think he has some merit. Playing round 12, 15, 18 is cheap enough and has potential to be a fringe and a season keeper, as in the same mould as Blayke Brailey is in 47, and that's the same reason you'd be bringing him in. Just be concerned about the minutes is all. Jazz Tevaga, really risky one. I have talked about him a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Jakey Turbo being out and injured after 8 minutes was the reason he had increased minutes, but he's named at lock again, and he has really strong data. The minutes are all over the place, but if we just position it by lock, 38 and 70 minutes isn't great. 6 missed tackles there. But previously, 52 and 66 minutes, 48 and 53, 51 and 53. There's heaps of data. So even if he plays a 40-plus minute role, I think you could easily average 37 to 40, which is more than enough. They do have 2 forwards coming back in the next couple of weeks. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, he plays round 12, round 15, round 18, has that mid-hooker dual position, is a cheap enough price point, could potentially average 10-plus points. You're just concerned about his minutes and what his role is. Jakey Turbo probably won't play Origin. I hope not. And I think only Olakau'atu will play from that pack. So there's no real upside to where his minutes are going to come from. And there's only downside. But starting lock, really good PPM, cheap enough, really good buy cover, dual. I think there's a lot of merit there. So I'm considering it, but I just prefer other guys that I'll talk about later. Jake Simpkin, seen a lot of people, not a lot, a few people talk about him. Obviously played 58 minutes for a 61 last week, 7 tackle breaks. Do not expect that to happen ever again. 2 line breaks. Don't expect that to ever happen again. There's just not enough data, even in, we'll say 50 plus minutes. Like he averaged 43 this year, which is good. 40 the year before, 47, and that's in like 67, 63 minutes, and then 33 in 62 minutes. So yeah, you really want him to be averaging 45 plus minutes. Sorry, you want him to average 45 plus points. And I just don't see a path unless he plays 80, which is super unrealistic. So yeah, if you had to go with one for buy cover, Jazz Tevaga is easily the better option. They're both risky, and Jazz Tevaga has way more upside. Siliva Havili, butchered that, Havili. Anyway, yeah, he was a little bit of an option that people were looking at. I don't know if he's played much hooker in his lifetime. Yeah, fair bit. Any recent, 2024, 2023, so we'll have a look at that. 9 points in 28 minutes. Yeah, like the data's all over the place. Like he had a really good game there with a try assist and heaps of other stuff. Yeah, like he's got decent data. They've just signed Brandon Smith effective immediately this morning. So I think he won't be named this week, I don't believe, unless they get an exemption. But yeah, he could come into that hooker role anytime. Havili does play a little bit of mid as well. Like that's his little split. But yeah, I just don't think the minutes are there with Brandon Smith across now. And we don't know Mamouzelos' injury length yet. And I don't know if we'll find out before the start of the round. So yeah, way better options even within his price point that play round 12. So no juice for me there. If they hadn't signed Brandon Smith, maybe a little bit of interest, but I still think there were better options. So yeah, that's it from hooker. Not a ton of options this week. A few fringe guys, but yeah. In mids, we've got a heap of fringe guys. And if they're fringe, it doesn't mean you can't buy them. I think they're really good options. Fringe doesn't mean you can't. It's just, yeah. Buy is, I have a really, really strong sentiment with them. And Tallis Duncan is one of those. Talked about him a bit yesterday. We'll go by second row here. The really good thing is all his second row games, even though they are scarce, he's played 80 minutes in every single one of them, which is awesome. Averaged 49 in those minutes. Don't know if that continues, but it doesn't need to. He's priced at 30. You just need him to average 40 plus for it to be value. Misses round 12, but plays round 15 and 18, which is really exciting. That's when I need my buy cover the most. Round 12 would be ideal, but there's heaps of guys that I'm going to be targeting around that round 11, round 12 range when I trade out my Yos, my Horsburghs, my Haas potentially, and they should be a little bit underpriced, as we'll talk about in a sec. So yeah, I think having round 15 and round 12, round 15 and round 18 cover is really important. And yeah, their pack is full strength. They don't have any, like the Rabbitohs don't have any guys coming back. Cameron Murray's next year. He's the only one that's injured at the moment. And yeah, he's in the starting edge position, which is awesome. Euan Aitken's in the starting edge position as well. They've moved Kaloa Matangi to prop. And then a bit of other shuffle. Hubner's back in 13. So yeah, they've moved their pack around to accommodate for Tallis Duncan. He was really good last week. So yeah, I really think he's going to stay on that edge position. It is risky for sure. Like if he goes back to a bench role, he probably averages around that 30 mark. But still, that's what is priced at. So it's not too much downside, even though it would be a waste of a trade. But yeah, I'm really confident in the fact that he'll start in the second row for a long time. Kaloa Matangi plays Origin. They've got, I think he's the only one in that pack who plays Origin. But yeah, I don't see any potential for him to lose the minutes unless they're just getting destroyed every week and Wayne wants to mix up. But yeah, I'm confident enough to bring him in this week, and he's 99% coming into my team. So really happy with him. He's the only strong buy for me this week. All the rest are fringe guys. A lot of them are keepers. I just think they're slightly overpriced, or they could lose a bit of money. Tarpany's really solid. He's the best mid outside of those three guys that everyone has this year, and your Yos, Mays, and Haas's, averaging 60. But his minutes have increased, which is good to see. And his data's close. Like he's not far off the mark, but 54 last year. Sorry. 55 the year before. 57 in like similar minutes. So yeah, I think he's a fine buy. He's just slightly overpriced for mine. And yeah, I'm happy to wait and see for round 12 when those options start to clear up. Like if we get a Maxi King, Addin Fonua-Blake who are way cheaper, I think it's worth going some guys like them over Tarpany. But yeah, I think he's a really strong buy. It's just I'm not focused on mids this round because I know how easy it's going to be to get them in round 11 and 12 and there's such a surplus. Same as Toby Couchman. He's a little bit riskier. He did have a burner last week, is what they're reporting. Didn't look great. He came on because Emre Guler came back off. Still pumped out a 62, which is awesome. So that PPM's still strong as. If he didn't have any injury concerns, I'd absolutely think is a buy. He does miss round 12, but again, round 15 and 18 cover for mids is awesome, and he does have that duel, which helps. And even like since they have a buy in round 12, he's going to cover you in 13, 14, 11, and make your team stronger there. So you can't just focus on the major buy rounds, but that is the main consideration at this point. But yeah, without the injury concern, he's an easy buy. Just depends on your buy cover as well. Cameron McInnes, again, he's getting a little bit XE. The minutes are strong, averaging 60, 56 points. He's not a try scorer, so ignore that. But apart from that, like 8 tackle breaks is insane as well. But yeah, he's always Mr. Consistent. He's playing lock, not hooker. And yeah, 51 and 55 minutes, 59 and 58 minutes, 55 and 60 minutes. So yeah, heaps of merit to him. Plays round 12 and 15, so easily more than happy to buy him this week. He's just not a must-have in any stretch, and there's so many guys that can cover that position. Leo Thompson, where's he on my fringe buy list? Yeah, mainly just because they play round 12, 15, don't have a buy until round 18. He's been really good this season, priced at 47, averaging 50. The minutes are strong. He's got a couple of random games playing less minutes. Don't think that will continue. I can't say I looked into those games to see why those minutes were low. But yeah, there's enough data to say that he'll be a bigger minute player. Obviously averaged 41 and 50 minutes last season, but those minutes are up. His PPM's up. He's a young kid, so he's bound to get better naturally. The tackle count's the main one, 31 tackles to 39. Offloads are about the same because I'm ignoring the fact he's going to get 4 again, which is unlikely. Run meter's the same. It's really just that tackle count that's increased. So yeah, I think priced at 47, he's a really good option. Plays round 12 and 15. It's just, I don't think he's a end of season keeper. You've got close to 10 guys above him, but I think he's awesome cover. A little bit risky, nice pod for you, and I would be cautious about having too many knights as well. You can have like Imazus, Fletcher Sharp, Dylan Lucas, KPP. There's just so many to choose from, and I don't want to overindulge in them as well because that's a lot of tweaking in round 18. Hamish Stewart, I think is a really solid buy this week. Haven't seen a ton of people talking about him, probably because he's made like 180k. People sort of don't like doing it, but he's in a new role now. Emre Guler's out. Played 48 minutes, ignored the 11 minutes, even though he had a nice score. I think he was a HIA or something. But yeah, really confident in the fact that he'll play 40 plus minutes. Pretty confident in saying he'll average close to 50, which is awesome. Played 48 last week. Ignore the try. But yeah, averaging 39 and 37 minutes. Take away the try, that's 1 and 6. So yeah, that's like less than a point that he got from the try. So he's averaging about a point a minute there. So yeah, really, really strong merit. Those expected minutes look high. I think he could easily average 40, potentially close to 45. Has that buy in round 12, which is throwing me off a little bit. Since I'm getting Tallis Duncan, I don't want to have two more mids that missed round 12, given I have the big 3 as well. So I can't do it. I prefer Tallis Duncan over him, but I think there's a lot of merit, and he's not very highly owned. Not many people bring him in this week. Loko Tonga. Yeah, no data. He's got big raps on him. Really young. It's a bit annoying on NRL Fantasy Pro. There's 2 different names for him. The first one, he averaged pretty much a point a minute in base stats in 4 games at prop. And then, what else? The other version of him, same version. I don't know why there's 2. Maybe he changed his name or something and the algorithm doesn't know it. I don't know it. I don't know much about the kid, but I've just heard he's got big raps. Now it doesn't want to load. But yeah, Emre Guler's out, so I think his minutes should be solid. He'll probably play 30 to 35. I'd say close to a point a minute, given his reserve grade history. It's limited. I think he only played like 8 games total. Look, this isn't loading, but he played 2 games for about a point a minute on base stats. So yeah, I think he's risky, but he's a good enabler at 230k. Will cover you round 15. I don't know if he'll last till round 18 in your teams. Be concerned that he might lose his spot when Gula comes back, but I think he'll be good enough to play himself into the team. And if he's shit, then he's added no value to you anyway. So, like, it is what it is. Patea obviously had that try last week for 56 in 28 minutes, but he looked really solid apart from that. 6 tackle breaks, I think 2 or 3 were with the try from memory. But yeah, he looks really good. He might pick up a few extra minutes with Yo and Liam Martin on Origin duties. I think he's risky. A little bit of interest in the -1 break even. I think if you're going to go that way, I'd just get Loco over him. He does play round 12, which helps. Might get a little bit more minutes in round 13 with Yo out. He's never going to be one you're going to play. He's just a flyer as Origin cover. But yeah, I don't think he's the best option. Maxi King and Addin Fonua-Blake I've put in the no-goes. That break even says 64. I can tell you they're both 70, Max King and Addin Fonua-Blake. On this site, it doesn't want to load for me at the moment. They both say 70. You're going to have to take my word for it, or you can check yourself. But yeah, just with those break evens, we've got 3 rounds to get them. I have strong interest, especially in Max King coming into round 12, but I'm happy to wait and see. If he pumps out a 70, it is what it is. I've missed out. Happy to take the risk that he averages 50 to 55 and I get him 40k cheaper. So yeah. And also, you just, if you know you can get him in round 12, I don't see why you take a risk now in case one of them gets injured, and you can just see what it looks like in round 12 and pick up 2 of them there. So yeah, heaps of interest in general. Not much interest, priced at 53 with a 70 break even. So yeah, average 50 last year, 45 the year before. But yeah, really strong interest. He'll average 50 plus. It's just, you don't need to get him this week. Same as Addin Fonua-Blake. He's more risky. Those minutes are atrocious lately. 43, 42, 43 sprinkled in with a 62. So like last year he averaged 60 for a 58. His points per minute is up slightly, which is good. Averaging 54 is solid. He will hopefully be priced at 50 or 51 come round 12, and then is more worth the risk. Plays round 12, round 15, but it's a more sensible price. So happy to wait and see with him again. I prefer Maxi King over AFB for now for round 12 buy cover. Edges, we got 1 strong buy and then heaps of guys sprinkled in there. The risky section is actually a little bit interesting for mine, so I'll get into that as well. But yeah, Dylan Lucas, clear buy. I'll 99% bring him in this week. Just depends if you need edge centre cover for round 12 and round 15. He averages 59 this year, priced at 53. Only 1 try. The tackle count's really solid. Last year he had a few games sprinkled in, but at second row, which is his position, he averaged 55.5. So he's an 80-minute guy, locked in, barring injury. He does have a risk of moving to the centres if there's an injury mid-game, but that's less so than Fermor's risk. And yeah, he should be fine either way. He'll average close to that 53, 54, 55 mark, higher if he is playing second row exclusively. KPP, really strong one as well. No issues if you want to get him as a bit of a pod option instead of Dylan Lucas. I probably wouldn't get both if you have too many nights again, just because you're going to have to sort some stuff out here in round 18, and a lot of the guys you want to bring in are keepers, so just be mindful of that. I do like him as an option, averaging 56 without a try. I don't know why this bloke can't score. He had like 1 try last year, I think. Yeah, 1 try on an edge the whole season. It's weird. The Knights suck at the moment, obviously. They were good last week, but yeah. If he ever learns how to score a try, he couldn't do it on the left, can't do it on the right this year. But his tackle count's really solid. His base is strong as. Missed tackle's a little bit higher. Priced at 51, so a little bit lower than Lucas. He doesn't have that dual, so easily prefer Dylan Lucas over him. He averaged a bit less last year as well, like 47.7. So yeah, if you don't have Lucas, get him in over KPP. If you already have Lucas, probably don't get KPP. It's just if you want a little bit of a flyer to try boost your ranks over Dylan Lucas, like backing against him. Eliesa Katoa, carrying a bit of an injury. I heard NRL physio say. I didn't watch the pod, so I don't know what it was. Just a little bit of concern there. I always am a little bit risk averse when guys are carrying injury. He doesn't play round 12, doesn't play round 15, so totally dependent on your team needs. He doesn't fit mine. I don't need him. Scared of the injury, but really solid. Priced at 50, averaging 53, averaged 52 last year. So he's a little bit underpriced. Should be a keeper end of season, but buy schedule doesn't work. You might be a bit surprised to see Siua Wong in this list. Talked about him last week as a pretty clear hold. Priced at 46. Yeah, he's had a few shit games sprinkled in. But yeah, what am I doing? I think he averages 50 plus, which is enough to be a fringe end of season guy. Plays round 12, 15, 18. So he's a little bit undervalued, has perfect buy schedule. And yeah, again, hasn't scored a try. That's all in base pretty much. He gets a lot of offloads that should continue. And yeah, doesn't have much data previously, but he's really good this year. They lose a couple of guys in Origin potentially. Minutes aren't going anywhere. He's playing 80 or close to every week. So yeah, really. Apologies for that. Hopefully this mic's still good enough. Hopefully it didn't change the volume. That would be annoying for you. But yeah, I think there's interest in him. I prefer Dylan Lucas over him as well, but yeah, I'd be considering bringing him in if I hadn't already. I don't have him already, but if I wasn't bringing in Dylan Lucas. Euan Aitken, I think I put him on the risky list. Yep. So here's a risk here. The risk is he moves to centres at any point. Fuck you, Wayne Bennett. Nah. He's a much better second rower. When he plays second row, data is incredibly strong. Averaged 57 last year, which is insane. 66 in one game, 49, 64. Like, there's so much strong data to support that he'll average 55 plus, assuming he plays it in the second row. And I'd like to think he will from now on, with their injuries getting a little bit better, like Jamie Humphries, Latrell Mitchell in. He has a buy in round 12, which isn't ideal. Latrell plays Origin round 15 and 18, so there's a risk that Aitken moves to the centres when he's out, depending on what they do with Jai Gray and stuff like that. He can move at any point in the games, but as long as he's playing second row, I think he's a really nice grab as a little bit of a pod this week, assuming you don't need cover in round 12. He's probably a wait and see. He's got a 54 break even. Like I said, that does look like their strongest pack, and he's lining up in the second row, which is good. But yeah, maybe just wait a week. Worst case, he makes 20K if he pumps out a 70, and then you've got more data to support the fact he'll be a good buy. But yeah, I will potentially be bringing him in probably after round 12. I'm happy to get him around 630, 640K because he'll be priced less than 50 still, so heaps of value. Should be an end-of-season keeper. And the good news, if he keeps playing centre, he might get dual, depending on what they want to do. Isaiya Papali'i played second row last week, which is awesome. His score, not so awesome, but heaps of data. We'll do like 60 plus minutes. Averaged 47 last year, 53, 63, 71. Like, I don't know if you remember this year, but it was incredible. And yeah, he's not going to get back there. Let's not be ridiculous. He's had 3 different teams since then. But yeah, I think there's heaps of data to support that he'll average 50 plus playing in the second row. Liam Martin plays Origin, so he'll should definitely play in round 12. Obviously got the bye next week, so he's not a grab this week. I want to see him start in that second row a bit more and hopefully play 80 every week. But yeah, I don't think they have anyone coming back off the top of my head. I wouldn't get him this week. But yeah, if you need a flyer, I think there's some merit in him. And then Lukey Garner, priced at 30, which is awesome. Played centre again for 61 in 80 minutes last week. He has been named at centre again. He might cover second row when Liam Martin goes for Origin, but that's only going to be 1 week cover unless he misses round 13 as well. But yeah, so we can assume he's going to play centre from now on. Obviously, he had that injury-affected game, but a 49 and 61 is really, really good, especially without a try. His base is solid. Like, that tackle count's decent for a centre. The missed tackles, they're okay. You do see when second rowers play in the centres, they tend to have a better tackle count, which is good. So I think that's super sustainable, could even increase. But it's the meters game that are awesome. They're only off 1 line break each. So I missed the Panthers game this week, but I think I would assume most of those were in normal play and then 190 in round 1. So really happy with him as an option. I would love it if he was a dual, But yeah, averaged 38 in centres across his career. He'll probably have shit games, probably have good games here and there. Priced at 30, there's not much risk in his price. It's just what his role is moving forward, and he only covers round 12. So yeah, just fully dependent on team needs. Beau Fermor, last one in the edges. Yeah, not a ton of interest in him this week. He's gone up about 100k again from his lowest, which is good. I've kept him throughout that period. I picked him up around here just before his 20, unfortunately. Yeah, obviously has a low break even, but I'm getting really concerned as an owner that he will play Origin. He's almost a lock now for mine, especially with Fifita injured. So yeah, I wouldn't be bringing him in. Dylan Lucas, the better option by far. And yeah, he's got a massive Origin risk. Apart from Origin, I think he's fine. I think Dylan Lucas averages more across the season, especially with Fermor moving to centre at any point. But it looks like he's going to play edge from now on, barring injuries, because Desi Hasler, it came out that he demoted David Fifita to the Queensland Cup because Fifita wanted to play on the left edge, and that's Beau Fermor's position now. So that's good as an owner, but yeah, I think he plays Origin, so can't do it. Oh, we've got two more edges, sorry. Olakau'atu, yeah, he's fine. He just plays Origin as well, so not going to ramble on about him. Halasima, yeah, there was a little bit of interest over the last couple of weeks. Played 45 for 80 minutes, which is good. Base stats, good. But then he hasn't played 80 the other 2 games in the second row. They've got James Fisher-Harris back at any point. Only plays round 12. Can't see him making 150k. Can't see him playing 80 minutes. Can't see him averaging 45 plus. So easy avoid for me. There's better options on the board. Oh, somehow I missed Matty Nicholson. I didn't have the tab open for him clearly. But yeah, he's priced at 51, I believe now. Should average close to that, probably between 50 and 55. Hudson Young plays Origin. Got a decent buy schedule. Yeah, I think he plays 80 from here on out. Probably gets a few more tries than he has been. He was a try scorer in the Super League. Looks good in the NRL. So yeah, still playing 80 with Hosking back, so no concerns there. Just depends how you value him versus the other top guys like Lucas, Fermor, Siua Wong, and stuff like that. Moving on to the halves now. I put King-Togia in 2 spots. That wasn't an accident. It's just I have no idea where to put him, but he's certainly not a certain buy for me. But we'll get into him in a sec. Jamal Fogarty, haven't put these guys as in the green buy section just because, yeah, not that Fogarty has risks. I think he's a great option, but it's just dependent on your team needs. I don't think he's one you should rush in to get. Priced at 55, he'll average 55. So yeah, he's a great keeper. If you need a half keeper this week with his buy schedule, then bring him in. If not, then yeah, no need. Nicho Hynes, last week and the week before, I said I preferred him to Jamal Fogarty. He has outscored him. Did outscore him last week. Really concerned with those kick meters. As an owner, happy enough that he's scoring well, but comes with concern. He said midweek, Braden Trindle will get most of the kicking still with him playing well. I think that was in a post-game interview, actually, which is, yeah, just shows that he's probably going to average 150 kick meters or less, which we probably knew anyway. But yeah, it is down from what it has been when he averaged 60, 65, 70 in previous years. I think there is some avenue to averaging 55 or 60, but it probably relies on him taking a lot of kick meters away from Trindle. The missed tackles, they're up there, a little bit concerning, but he's offset them with 31 and 31 tackles. Won't play Origin, plays round 12 and 15. So yeah, a lot of people have a lot of halves cover, myself included, so round 12 and 15 isn't super important. It's just, yeah, just check what team needs you have, and if you need one for 15, maybe pick up Hynes. If you need one for 18, maybe pick up Fogarty. So that's all. All of these are super team dependent, so there's no set list for anyone. King-Togia. A lot of people interested in him with his 47 just one break even, 260k. He's good enough. Like I just mentioned, a lot of people have surplus of halves for that Origin period, like the buy period. Doesn't play round 12. He's fine. Like, I think he'll average 30 plus. I think he'll make 150k or close to. But he might not. Like, I talked about he's not a strong kicking half. The tackle count isn't amazing. Missed tackles are fine, like 2's fine. 2 try assists, a line break, 2 line break assists, they're awesome. He's just an attacking half, so he's going to have really high scoring games. He's going to have really low scoring games. Like, don't be surprised to see 15, 20s floated in there. I don't think he should ever make your starting 17. Maybe he makes your starting 13, like during round 15 and 18. But are you going to hold him to round 18? He's probably going to peak by then at probably 400 to 450k. So yeah, you're going to be losing some of that value back if you keep him for round 18, unless he goes on a flyer, of course. Like, he does have good wraps on him. But yeah, I just don't love getting attacking halves that don't kick. I say as I have Nicho Hynes probably bringing Fletcher Sharp. But yeah, I just don't. He's not the main playmaker. A little bit concerned. There's nothing wrong with him. If he's a strong buy for you, then absolutely feel free to bring him in. Like, I'm sure most people are. He's the one most people bought in this week. I think it's like 7.86%. Yeah, and last couple of weeks it was really high as well. Sorry, last week I think he was bought in by like 40% of top 1,000 teams. So yeah, not surprised to see him so high. I don't disagree that you should bring him in. It's just super dependent on your team needs and what you think he'll average. And I don't see a path. I do see a path. I just don't see a likelihood. Like, I don't like the risk versus reward factor, I guess. And he doesn't suit my team needs. So yeah, totally fine if you want to bring him in, but that's just my thoughts on him. And I think I'm in the minority there for sure. Jayden Campbell, started the year with him, loved him. I think he averages 60 plus for the year without much shadow of a doubt. Does a bit of everything. Those kick meters are insane. Tackle count's solid. Doesn't miss a lot of tackles considering he's such a small frame. Goal kicks, really attacking, gets a lot of tries, try assists, offloads are here and there. Like, he does everything. Just, he seems to have been rushed back a little bit from that syndesmosis injury. I'm sure he's fine, but just, I don't know if it's a coincidence that Weaver is out this week and he's back in when this is the shorter end of his spectrum of his time frame for coming back. So a little bit concerned there. Doesn't play round 12 is the main thing for me. Don't have any issues if you bring him in. Just a little bit concerned at the re-injury rate and just doesn't play round 12, so it doesn't fit my team. I'll almost certainly bring him in before round 15, probably in round 13 or 14. So love him as an option. Don't love him as an option this week. Matty Burton, I think he's risky as well. Yeah, heaps of risky guys here. Break even a 69. Giggity. Not too bad overall, like 48 and 54. Average 54 last year is what I'm looking at. Priced at 44. He's lost the goal kicking for now, so again, that's why he's risky. I've talked about it. I think he gets the goal kicking back during the bye period. When Stephen Crichton's on Origin, he'll miss 12, 15 and 18, so Matty Burton blocked in there. Crichton might miss 1 or 2 of these recovery games. Centers usually don't, but if the Bulldogs are flying, they probably don't need to risk it. Oh, well, he's got to buy. They've got to buy in 13 and 15, 13 and 16 anyway. Sorry, didn't see that. But yeah, they could just stick with Burton over that rather than flipping and changing every week. So can easily see that goal kicking coming back. And yeah, he's got strong enough data, like 50, 46, 49. So I think there's a path to him averaging 50 plus again. He probably needs that goal kicking back. Probably won't play Origin, but yeah, plays round 12, 15 and 18, which is the main benefit. Has that low price stat, but probably one to pick up round 11 or 12 when that break even starts to creep down. Jahrome Hughes, talked about in the last couple of weeks. What are you guys doing? Sorry, my pets are going crazy. My cat is probably going to jump on the computer anytime soon. But yeah, I talked about him. Hughes the last couple of weeks. Really interested in him. He got re-injured again with like 10 minutes to go last week. I think he's fine. Like, he's named, he played on, but that's like 3 or 4 games this year he's had an injury, and I think they're all been a little bit different. Yeah, he'll average 50 plus. I'm not concerned about that by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think he gets back to his 60-point average like last year. But even then, like 52, 49, I think he easily averages 50 plus. It's just, I'll wait and see. They don't play round 12 or 15. He's fine for my team. It's fine that he doesn't play those rounds, so I could easily pick him up now. But there's so many better options I like that help my buy cover this week. So not going to pick him up, but really understand why you would at 40 because that's way too low. Carl Flanagan, he's on absolutely zero people's radar, 0.02% owned in the top 5,000. I talked about him coming into last week, that those kick meters would almost certainly increase with King-Togia in the team. I said he was a wait and see just to see what that team dynamic looks like, see if Elias is back. Yeah, Dragons didn't look too bad, and I think King-Togia is there to stay. So yeah, 387 is probably the lower end of his spectrum, I'd say, because King-Togia only had 91 meters. No one else really kicks. Damien Cook takes a couple, Little takes a couple, but yeah, I'd say he'll average anywhere between like 400 and 550. He blew 2 tries on the weekend, which is super annoying. His tackle counts are solid. I think you have to go back heaps of years to find any strong data. Even further. So he averaged 45 with 300 meters and then 52 with 257 meters. And yeah, he's not the same player he used to be. His confidence was rattled after the Roosters got rid of him. And yeah, he's just not the same player. But I think just on those kick meters alone, he could easily average 45 plus. Like that's an extra 10 meters to 10 points to what he's been doing previously. And that's his value right there. So yeah, risky one. I'm not doing it. Misses round 12, but I think it's now or never if you do want to pick him up. Jayden Sullivan, another one I talked about last week. Another one not on anyone's radar. Got 40. I said the kick meters will probably increase. But the main fact was he was priced at 19, which is ridiculous. And I think he's there to stay. They have so many injuries. Lewis Dodd's super out of favour. Latrell's going to miss time over Origin. So he's no concern to come into the halves. Jamie Humphries is back this week, and he's still playing in that 5'8" role. Don't expect any kick meters, so that's going to evaporate straight away. But yeah, certainly a path to averaging 35 plus if he picks up his form again. Just playing in the halves last year, he averaged 53 with those kick meters, so take away 8 points, and yeah, he averaged 44 with only 1 try. Tackle count's really high. Missed tackles aren't too bad. He's an attacking half, so 90 metres gained is fair. I think he averages somewhere between 35 and 40. I don't need him, but I almost prefer him over King-Togia, and that's crazy to say. Isaiya Katoa, I think he's in my avoids list. Yeah. Just because he's not going to average in the top 7 halves probably towards the end of the season. That might be a bit harsh. But just on this list alone, we've got Fogarty, Hynes, Campbell, Hughes, who probably average more than him, almost certainly. Then you got Cleary, Adam Reynolds. There's heaps of guys that are averaging 50 plus, or will average 50 plus, that I just don't see the merit. He plays round 12 and round 15, which is awesome. So again, if that helps your team, then absolutely get him. But I prefer Hynes as an option, who's almost certainly going to be an end-of-season keeper who has the same bye schedule. So, yeah, he's been great. Great in real life, great in fantasy, averaging 55. Probably continues. Like, he probably gets somewhere between 50 and 55, but he's not an end-of-season guy. He's barely even a fringe end-of-season guy for me, so easy avoid. Luke Metcalf, outstanding. Like, he's been awesome the last couple of weeks, and it's really good to see. The Warriors have been awesome as well, which is good for footy, I think. Break even at 3. I haven't seen heaps of people talking about him. I just wanted to quickly touch on him. He's priced at 47. Probably doesn't reach that for the season. So he's probably slightly overpriced, even with that break even at 3. It's a false break even. As soon as that 93 comes out, he'll go straight back down. So yeah, he might get up to 700k, but overall he's going to be priced around 570 to 600k. So you're overpaying for him now. Unless you really believe in the Metcalf train that he's going to average 55 plus, I don't see it, and there's no path there. So easy avoid for me. Jamie Humphries, I'm actually shocked he's on the Who's Hot list, I believe. I'll fact check that in a sec. But yeah, obviously he started the year crazy, averaging 64, which is awesome. That was without Latrell. That was last year. Let me get that one out. So it's actually averaging 69, which is crazy. 600 kick meters is incredible. Latrell kicks in game now. Jamie Humphries literally took every kick bar 1 or 2 with Cody Walker in the team. I think Latrell takes a few more. Jayden Sullivan maybe 1 or 2. I can easily see that those kick meters come down to 450, 500, which you're only losing a couple of points, so fair enough. He's going to lose goal kicking as well. With Latrell taking over, he took over in his first game back in round 5, when Jamie Humphries got injured after 5 minutes. But yeah, tackle counts 33, but that was because he played a bit of lock in one of those games. This game, I believe. Yeah, definitely that game. Yeah, like he's really good overall. I think towards the end of the season, you'll need him. I think he's just an easy wait after round 12 for me with a 68 break even. He's not going to average 70 plus. Let's not kid ourselves. Is there a path to averaging 60 plus? Like he'll goal kick over Origin and stuff. So yeah, I think there is. I just don't see it in the next couple of weeks. So I think he'll lose more money. But yeah, look at that. He's on the list. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I think he's underpriced technically, but he'll lose money in the next couple of weeks and his scores will be a bit lower. Final two lists, centres and winger fullback. I am cautious this video is already 46 minutes. I will have timestamps, so that should be a bit easier for you anyway. But not a lot of centres, not a lot of winger fullbacks. Reuben Garrick, he's a fringe buy. I think he's good, plays round 12, 15, 18, has that dual. Really solid. I think he averages close to 50 overall. In the centres, he averaged 49 last year. What before that? Yeah, 49. Oh, that's a bit of fullback and stuff. But yeah, you get the idea. He'll average close to 50, so he's pretty well priced where he should be. Just has really good buy cover, has that dual position as well. He does have a HIA risk. I've talked about this so many times. Probably higher than most people, his risk. But it's just one you got to wait to see it when it happens. And if it happens, you just cop it. It's not a reason I wouldn't get him, but it's probably a reason I wouldn't keep him for the end of the season over a Fermor or Lucas. Dane Gagai, talked about him again with Jayden Sullivan and Carl Flanagan as my risks last week, and it paid off with a 52, so that list actually turned out really solid. Yeah, I think he's going to average 50 plus or close to it. He has no season recently where he averaged under 50, like a 52, 55, 40, 45. So yeah, really the last two seasons, but that's what I expect. They're the two at the Knights. He played at the Knights a bit longer. But yeah, I think he averages close to 50, if not low 50s. Won't play Origin. Plays round 12, round 15. Yeah, I think is a really good price point. Priced way cheaper than a few other options like your Garricks, Fletcher Sharps. Obviously, Fletcher Sharp's a different position, but yeah, just be cautious picking up too many Knights again. He does have a slight Origin risk, but I can't see it personally. But yeah, I think he's a really good option as a pod. I think he is close to a fringe end of season target. Izack Tago, I preferred Dane Gagai over him. He didn't even play 80 minutes. He was on the bench a couple of weeks ago, which is crazy. Priced at 32, averaging 32, so nothing special there. But last season, averaged 37, and that was even a down year for him. 50 the year before, 42. Yeah. So you're banking on him getting back to this sort of form. I don't know if it happens, but I sure as shit know he will average more than 32. So, yeah, there's some merit there. Plays round 12. That's about it. I just wanted to include him as a high flyer, but very high risk, high reward guy. And if you're going that way, I'd prefer Dane Gagai for sure. James Schiller, another one out of left field. Obviously had that game for 1 minute. He looked really good last week. I thought he was a terrible player last season, but he actually looks really solid this year. 6 tackle breaks. Obviously, he had that 11 tackle break game, but followed up with 0 and then 4+ every week. The Knights I've talked about will be better. Got the Titans, got Para, and then Panthers on the with their Origin guys out. So, yeah, think he has a few decent scores in a row. I don't necessarily like looking at the schedule when I'm looking to buy players, but if it's someone who needs to make coin quickly, then I do. Like, I think you hold him till at least round 15 and then look to go from there. Doesn't have a ton of data. Last season averaged 40 in 80 minutes, which is good. A try a game won't continue, but it's really that tackle break count that's increased from 2.8 to 5.7. Everything else pretty similar. So yeah, I don't actually see a reason why he won't average 40, and his price at 28 has a really good buy schedule. So I'm honestly, after doing this video, I'm actually considering getting him over a Fletcher Sharp, but just think I'd rather be safe with Fletcher. Jacob Carraz, he's on my he's on my risky list. Sorry, I did have him on my no-goes list, but I thought that was a bit harsh. As an option, I think he's incredible. 102 is his best score ever, so be cautious. But he's just involved in everything at the back. He'll average 50 plus without a shadow of a doubt, almost. It's just he's going to play Origin in my eyes. Everywhere I see, everyone's saying he's like an outsider looking in. I just don't see how they look past him with Lomax injured, assuming he's out for round 12 in that Origin one. He's got that connection with Stephen Crichton on the right-hand side, and I don't think they'll look past that. And just the form he's in, like 3 tries last week, 230 metres. Like that game pretty much sealed it for me. I thought he was a 50-50 before that game, and now I think he's like an 80-90% chance. So yeah, I couldn't do it this week. If you bought him in before last week, awesome, credit to you. He's pumped out a hell of a score and made heaps of coin for you, and that was awesome. But yeah, I just don't think I can do it this week when I think he's going to play Origin. If you don't think he's going to play Origin, or if we get an update on Lomax prior to the start of the round, then yeah, by all means, bring him in. But just not for me with that Origin risk. Same as Selwyn Cobbo. He had a little bit of interest, including myself, after that 43 at fullback. Doesn't have a ton of data at fullback. But yeah, he's just going to play Origin. I think he's a solid option. I think he averages 45 until Walshy's back. But yeah, he just plays Origin, so no interest there. Scotty Drinkwater, I'm really excited by him. I was not really excited by him heading into this round. But then I noticed his goal kicking this year. Didn't goal kick last year, and he averaged 50. Didn't goal kick the year before, averaged 50. So yeah, I think he averages 50 plus. I think he averages 55 with the goal kicking. And the 270 metres, I've talked about it. I think it's there to stay. He did all their kicking from their own half. Not all the kicking, but like 50%. It looked like every time I looked up, he was kicking. And was kicking on their line all the time, which is going to lead to sneaky try assists and stuff. So yeah, might look reactionary getting him off a 75 and 68, but I think, controversially maybe, I think he'll average close to 60 if he keeps the goal kicking and if those kick meters stay. Yeah, he'll be up and down. He'll have his 30s, 35s, but also have his 80s, 90s. Doesn't play round 12, which is concerning, but it fits my team. It just means I have to keep Tamale or Iongi, but that's fine. That's what I was going to do anyway. Fletcher Sharp. Sorry, I'm running out of battery quick, so I've got to wrap this up. Fletcher Sharp, yep. I think he's fine. I've advised against him the last couple of weeks, just without strong enough data, playing 5/8, but we've had more data now. Won't get 3 tries every week. He was like 300 to 1 to do that. But yeah, he'll average 50-ish. He won't average 57, I highly doubt, but priced at 51, has really good buy cover, 12-15. He's coming into my team this week probably. Greg Marzu, I think he is risky. Yep. Priced at 47. Sorry, I'm rushing because I have like 10% battery. Yeah, I think he's priced about where he should be, averaging 50, priced at 47. He's fine. I just prefer Fletcher Sharp over him. I don't think he's an end-of-season guy, and you're banking on the fact he will be if you pick him up over a Fletcher Sharp. Kalen Ponga, really like him as an option. He's going to play Origin more than likely. If you think somehow he's not going to play Origin, pick him up. I think even he could be worth a flyer. Priced at 40, he'll average 50 plus. Really soft schedule, but yeah, I just can't do it. He doesn't fit my team, but I am considering it. And Latrell, easy one to hold off. He plays Origin, really high break even. So that's it for me. I'll get a sells or holds list tomorrow. But yeah, there'll be timestamps on this one, so hopefully that's an easy way of watching a video. But until next time, guys, see ya.